Postpartum depression, PPD, is a serious mental health condition that affects some women after childbirth. It goes beyond the common baby blues, a short period of mood swings, crying spells, and anxiety that many new mothers experience due to hormonal changes, fatigue, and stress. Unlike baby blues, which usually resolve within 2 weeks, postpartum depression can last for months and interfere with a mother's ability to care for herself and her baby. It may appear days or even weeks after delivery and can affect emotional, physical, and behavioral well-being. If left untreated, postpartum depression can have long-term effects on the mother, the child, and the entire family. Early diagnosis and proper treatment, such as therapy, medication, and support groups, can help mothers recover and return to healthy, functional lives. Understanding and acknowledging postpartum depression is the first step toward healing and reducing stigma around maternal mental health.
Bringing a new life into the world is supposed to be magical. Everyone expects pure joy, but sometimes a shadow falls. This shadow has a name: postpartum depression. It's not a choice. It's not a weakness. It's a real and serious illness. I know this because I lived through it. The journey was hard, terrifying even. We need to talk about it, openly and honestly, for ourselves and for all the mothers who feel lost in that darkness. It's an illness that needs understanding and compassion. Many new mothers experience something called the baby blues. This is very common. It usually starts a few days after childbirth. You might feel weepy, anxious, or overwhelmed. Your moods might swing up and down, but the baby blues are generally mild. They don't usually stop you from caring for your baby, and importantly, they tend to go away on their own within a couple of weeks. Postpartum depression, or PPD, is very different. It's much more severe. It lasts much longer than the baby blues. It doesn't just go away on its own. PPD can make you feel a deep, persistent sadness. You might feel hopeless or empty. You could experience intense anxiety or panic attacks. It can rob you of any pleasure or joy in life, even with your new baby. It's not just a bad mood, it's a serious mental health condition that needs treatment. The timing of PPD can also vary. While the baby blues hit quickly and fade fast, PPD can emerge more slowly. It might start within the first few weeks after birth, but it can also develop months later, even up to a year postpartum. Recognizing that what you're feeling is more than just the blues is the first brave step towards getting better. Our bodies go through an incredible upheaval during pregnancy and childbirth. Hormones are a big part of this. During pregnancy, levels of estrogen and progesterone are sky high. Then, right after birth, these hormone levels plummet dramatically. This sudden crash can be a massive shock to your system. For some women, this hormonal roller coaster is a key trigger for PPD. Another biological factor can be thyroid dysfunction. The thyroid is a small gland in your neck that controls your metabolism and influences your mood. Sometimes after pregnancy, the thyroid gland can become underactive or overactive. This is called postpartum thyroiditis. An underactive thyroid or hypothyroidism can cause symptoms that look a lot like depression. If your thyroid isn't working properly, it can contribute to or worsen feelings of depression. Doctors should check thyroid levels if PPD is suspected. Then there's sleep deprivation. This is almost a universal experience for new parents, but chronic lack of sleep is more than just tiring. It's a serious physical and mental stressor. When you're not sleeping, your body doesn't have time to repair itself. Your brain can't function optimally. The constant exhaustion can make you more vulnerable to mood disorders, including PPD. It's a vicious cycle. You feel depressed, so you can't sleep. You can't sleep, so you feel more depressed. Beyond the biological changes, our minds and our life situations play a huge role in PPD. If you have a personal history of depression or anxiety, you are at a higher risk. This was true for me. Past mental health struggles can make you more sensitive to the stresses of new motherhood. A family history of mental illness can also increase your vulnerability. A traumatic birth experience can also be a powerful trigger. Childbirth is often idealized, but the reality can be very different. It can be frightening, painful, or not go according to plan. You might have an emergency C-section. You might feel a loss of control, or you might feel unheard or unsupported during labor and delivery. These experiences can leave emotional scars. Lack of social support is another major factor. We were not meant to raise children in isolation. We need a village. When you feel alone, unsupported, or criticized, it's incredibly damaging. Feeling isolated can amplify feelings of sadness and hopelessness. Conversely, having a strong support system can be a powerful buffer against PPD. Having people you can lean on, talk to, and who offer practical help makes a world of difference. Postpartum depression doesn't just affect the mother in isolation. Its impact spreads out like ripples in a pond, touching everyone around her. For the mother herself, PPD can be devastating. It steals the joy that society says you're supposed to feel. Instead, there can be overwhelming sadness, anxiety, and despair. Many women with PPD experience intense guilt and shame. They feel like they are failing as a mother. They might think, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy?" The bond between a mother and her baby is so crucial. PPD can interfere with this bonding process. When a mother is depressed, she might find it hard to connect emotionally with her infant. She might feel detached or even resentful. This difficulty bonding can then feed into more guilt and sadness, creating a painful cycle. The child is also affected by a mother's untreated PPD. Babies are incredibly attuned to their caregivers. They sense their mother's emotional state. If a mother is consistently withdrawn, unresponsive, or distressed, it can impact the baby's development. Research shows that infants of depressed mothers may sometimes show more fussiness or withdrawal themselves. In the longer term, untreated maternal PPD has been linked to potential risks for the child. These can include emotional, behavioral, and even cognitive difficulties later on. While we've talked about hormonal crashes, there's more to the science of postpartum depression. The neuroendocrine system, which manages hormones and stress responses, is deeply involved. After childbirth, it's not just estrogen and progesterone that are fluctuating. Other hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone, can also be dysregulated. If your stress response system is constantly activated or not working correctly, it can contribute to mood problems. Neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers in our brains. They carry signals between nerve cells. Things like serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine play crucial roles in regulating mood, sleep, and appetite. In depression, including postpartum depression, these neurotransmitter systems are often out of balance. Scientists are also using brain imaging techniques like functional MRI to study postpartum depression. These studies can look at brain structure and activity. Some research has found differences in certain brain regions in women with postpartum depression compared to those without. This kind of research is important. It provides more evidence that postpartum depression is a real biological illness with measurable changes in the brain. It helps to fight the stigma that it's all in your head or a sign of weakness. The good news is that postpartum depression is treatable. There are many pathways to healing. The first step is often screening. Doctors, midwives, and pediatricians should routinely screen new mothers for postpartum depression. This usually involves asking a few simple questions about mood and anxiety. Early detection is so important. The sooner postpartum depression is recognized, the sooner treatment can begin. Psychotherapy, or talk therapy, is a cornerstone of postpartum depression treatment. Cognitive behavioral therapy can help you identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. Interpersonal therapy focuses on relationships and life events that might be contributing to depression. Medication can also be a very effective treatment for postpartum depression, especially for moderate to severe cases. Antidepressants, particularly selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are commonly prescribed. They work by helping to correct the chemical imbalances in the brain that contribute to depression. It's important to discuss the benefits and potential risks with your doctor, especially if you are breastfeeding. For many women, medication can lift the fog of depression enough so they can engage in therapy and start feeling like themselves again. There is no shame in needing medication. While not all cases of postpartum depression can be prevented, there are steps we can take to build resilience. Awareness and education before birth are so important. Learn about the signs and symptoms of postpartum depression. Understand your personal risk factors, like a history of depression or lack of support. Talk to your doctor or midwife about postpartum depression during your prenatal visits. Knowing what to look out for can help you or your loved ones recognize it early if it does develop. Building a strong support system is another key prevention strategy. Talk to your partner about how you can support each other after the baby arrives. Discuss expectations and how you will share responsibilities. Reach out to family and friends. Let them know you might need help. Don't be afraid to ask for specific things like help with meals, older children, or just someone to talk to. Consider joining a new parents group. Connecting with others who understand what you're going through can be incredibly helpful. Prioritizing self-care is not selfish, it is essential for your well-being. This can be incredibly difficult with a newborn, I know. But even small moments for yourself can make a difference. Try to schedule short breaks. Take a bath, read a book, go for a walk, or do something you enjoy. Make sure you are eating regularly and staying hydrated. The stigma surrounding mental illness is a huge barrier, and when it comes to postpartum depression, that stigma can be even more intense. Society expects new mothers to be blissful and overjoyed. When a woman experiences depression instead, she often feels ashamed. She might worry that people will think she's a bad mother or that she doesn't love her baby. This fear of judgment keeps too many women silent. They suffer alone, often for far too long. We need to break this silence. We need to create a culture where it's safe for mothers to admit they are struggling. Sharing our stories is one of the most powerful ways to combat stigma. When I first spoke out about my experience with postpartum depression, it was terrifying, but the response was overwhelming. So many women reached out to say, "Me too." They felt seen and understood. When we share our vulnerabilities, we create connections. We let other women know they are not alone. We show them that it's okay to not be okay. Every story shared chips away at the wall of silence and shame. It helps to normalize the conversation about maternal mental health. We must advocate for these changes.
And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mind-blowing psychology videos.